Hello, soul friends. Miriam here. Welcome to my channel. Today's pick a card reading, which I will live shuffle for you, is all about who is thinking about you way too much. Or, if you really want them to think about you, who's thinking about you. All right. This could be platonic, romantic, personal, or professional. So it might get mazy, might get a little crazy. I'm always crazy. So, without further ado, I'm just going to draw one card out of the Halloween Oracle, which looks like this, and do some shuffling and just get your choice cards for you. Remember, no matter your individual beliefs, tarot or oracle reading is your spirit guides coming forward to give you advice, or it is just your subconscious mind helping you answer life's ponders. And no matter how you look at it, it is healthy and you are in the right place. Yeah! Who is thinking about you way too much? I'm just doing 3 today. Yesterday was a crazy fest with the calls. Okay. For tarot clarifiers, let's go with, I know we just used it yesterday, but we're going to go with the cute ghosts. And that's all we're going to use. All right. So let's make that rock just chill, and we'll make the little red ones more contrasted that way. Okay. So go ahead and zoom in, focus, decide which one you're being drawn to, or more than one, and we will see you in your individual readings. Bye-bye-bye-bye. Hi, group 1. So if you pick this crazy little rock, it kind of looks like a little heart when you turn it that way. This is going to be your reading all about who's thinking about you way too much. It could be more than one person if you're super popular. Okay. Skull of Stars, infinite possibilities. So I feel like it could be more than one person thinking about you. I feel like you are one of those people that if you're going to walk into a crowd full of people and then later on, I don't know, let's make it dramatic. A huge crime happens. There's blood shed and spilt all over the place, and they're questioning everybody about who was here, who do you remember? And they would all remember that you were there. I don't think you did it. Did you? But they're all going to remember you. So you might have a distinctive look. You might have, how'd you say, a certain je ne sais quoi, which means having a certain I don't know what. There's just something about you that makes you memorable to people. You could be very attractive. You could just have a different energy about you. You might notice when you walk into any type of room or setting or situation that people stare at you, or maybe they form weird expectations around you. Like, oh, she's probably stuck up, or oh, she's probably this, or oh, she's probably that. I don't know. And or he, sorry. I was thinking about myself there because I'm one of these people. But it's not like a good remembering. Most of them are like, yeah, there was something about her I didn't like, I'm like, oh, great, I don't know what it was. It was just something. And I'm like, okay. So that all being said, that's why I kept saying she's, because I imagine what they say when I'm not there. Okay. So I feel like they remember you because you're just distinct. There's a distinction to you. And it could just be your energy. It could be your looks or how you dress. But for everybody in this group, you seem to draw attention to yourself without even trying. Okay. It might bother you. It might cause problems because people get weird, right? I know it does for me. Okay. So let's go ahead and get some tarot. Find out who these people are, because I feel like there's more than one. I'll start with these. Who is thinking about you way too much? Okay. I am not surprised. It's showing more than one person here. So one of them could be a teacher to you, like a professor or like something along those lines. I feel like for some of you, it's like somebody's like kind of hot for their pupil. But you know, college, you're all adults, so I guess if they want to risk their career, that's their decision. Others, I feel like you have like maybe not a teacher, it can be like an official teacher, but somebody that is, you know, some kind of a person that you learn things from. So this could be like a religious person, you know, like a college professor, somebody that you learn a lot of things from, like maybe a boss that has to actually really show you the ropes because like the tasks you do are very involved and require somebody to be there with you the whole time. For some reason, like jobs that I don't understand popped into my head, like doing like dangerous work, like construction and things like that. So in some of them are like attracted to you. And I feel like you know who you are. The ones that they're not attracted to you, it's like they fixate on you for a couple of different reasons. For some of you, it's like, good grief, I'm gonna have to write this down. So into you, or expecting things from you, like not in a romantic way, but like focusing in on like if you do a good job or not, like really like hyper vigilant about how you're doing. I feel like for some of you, it's because they see a bunch of potential in you. For others, I feel like it's because like they've got an axe to grind with you. Did anybody have like a teacher like that in high school? To give you an example, right? Of like that teacher that would just like, maybe not to you, maybe you saw them do it to another student, but like they just like didn't like a student for some reason, or like that's what it felt like when you were young. Like they just don't like me, right? They project on you. So the teachers that are interested in you for infamous reasons, they're projecting their own fear of failure onto you and their own expectation of success onto you. And they're doing the same thing if they think highly of you, if they think that you're a big draw, right? So, like if you have like potential, thank you. That was what I was trying to say. So that's one. Like they think about you way too much. Like they think about you beyond what a professional thinking of would be. Okay. And like as a former teacher, I always was like, it's 4:15. You don't exist to me. You know? Like you don't exist to me until 8:15 tomorrow morning. Like that's the way it should be, even if you like them or even if you don't. You know what I mean? Like they should never be able to tell. At least in my opinion, they shouldn't. And so I don't know if they know that they shouldn't feel that way. Like if they're attracted to you, I don't know if that's like something that they have decided they just need to like keep quiet about. I don't think they're going to do anything. But they do. You're in their headspace like all the time. Ever since you started going to learn from them. Okay. I also have 7 of coins here. This also feels like a separate person. This is someone, it almost kind of feels like there's a push-pull in your relationship. Like they might like come on strong and then disappear. It does feel romantic in nature. So if you're not involved with somebody romantically that's a push-pull scenario, then this one is not for you, right? You might just be over here. I feel like they've kept you waiting and you finally were like done with it. And now they sit and think about you and they think, oh, I'm going to get them back, or, oh, I'm going to really step up my game and do what they needed me to do 7 flipping months ago. Right. And now it's like they haven't jeez Louise. they haven't let you go entirely, but at the same time, I don't feel like they've been like talking to you. Okay. You may or may not want to talk to them. This one also feels romantic. So there's three things here. So it could be like three different people thinking about different people in this pile, or you actually have like three people that think about you way too much. With the infinite possibilities card showing up, that pretty much shows me that you just generally attract attention, negative or positive. You might get a mix. Okay. This is somebody that I don't even know if you've met them. So like that could be somebody that creeping on your social media. It could be like a person that you know, but they're painfully shy and they don't get out much. They think they have a crush on you. Okay. And they're holding a candle for you, even though they've never even made an offer or even like met you in some cases. Like I feel some of you have met this person and some of you have not. I feel like they have that thing where they like you or have a crush on you. And so like they almost feel like you owe them something because they like you. Have you guys ever met a type like that? Or like, I like you, so that means you, you have to like me back and I'm going to make you do it, right? I don't think they're going to try to make you do anything, but like I could see that person, if you have met them, like getting mad at you or jealous, even though you had no idea that anything was going on. Okay. I don't know if any of you have had experience with that before. I feel like you may have. Like, I feel like you've had kind of a gambit of your whole life of people like thinking about you way too much, like teachers fixating on you in negative or positive ways. Like you could have been a teacher's pet and then been like this other teacher's worst nightmare. And it was just you just showing up and being you. I don't see you provoking any of this stuff. It's just like in your essence. Okay. You might be an empath. And if you are, I'm very sorry for you because I'm an empath and I don't like it. If I could cut that part out of me, I would. And they're like, it's a gift. I'm like, take it back. Anyway, this feels more like their feelings. Okay. I feel like for most of these people, even the teachers that think you're problematic or whatever it is that they're fixating on, like the teachers that are fixated, in a negative way, this shows that most of these people do think you're honest. Part of what stands out to them about you is that you have a lot of like personal integrity. You don't apologize for yourself. You don't even think to do that. And so they want you to. They want you to worry about how they're feeling. Okay? All of them. They want you to worry about how they're feeling. And so there's this like, it's not like a misconception. It's just kind of this, what's the word I'm looking for? Unrealistic or like putting too much on one person of like expecting you to just like be the one that always holds yourself to a higher standard. And that's part of why they like you, right? The ones that like you is that you do seem to have a higher standard than most, right? It's part of what's drawn to you. They like that you're honest. And smart, right? But a lot of this is their perception of you, especially if they've never met you, okay? And I feel like that happens a lot. I feel like people make broad assumptions about who you are. So like if you're attractive, some people might say things like, oh, you just think you're so hot, or whatever. Or like act like life was easier for you somehow because of your looks. They might just make those broad assumptions, right? They might think that you have no idea what rejection feels like or whatever, dude. It's so stupid. Well, it's so stupid. I'm just like talking smack about your people here. The other thing that they seem to think is like wish fulfillment. Okay, so this would go along with the ones who, even the teachers who are a little bit negative towards you, if you're in that camp, they still think that like somehow if they can get you to do what it's like that show Good Will Hunting. Did you ever watch that movie where he's like a genius, but he lives in the Bronx, right? In the South Bronx. And all he does is like get into fights and drink and get in trouble, but he's a genius. And he like finishes like big math formulas on, in the buildings of the university where he cleans the halls, right? And everybody's like, oh, this person that solved this problem on this board is a genius. We should figure out who he is. And they do, and they decide to like try to groom him to become like this big mathematician guy. What kind of like mathematician? I don't know, because I don't understand math. I got to about 6th or 7th grade and it all stopped making sense about after that. So anyway, it's like they want you to fulfill their wishes. Okay. They've wrapped up a lot of stuff into you. Interesting. I don't feel like, I feel like if you're single and this is like somebody that you broke up with, or they broke up with you, or you just kind of like drifted apart and stopped talking, that they really pushed and pulled you quite a bit. And like, I don't feel like you want to get back together with them. Your guides would definitely not want you to, but I don't feel like you even want to. Does that make sense? And so it almost feels like some of you are already like locked into a partnership that's working really well for you. And that might be part of the other expectations people have of you, right? Of like, oh, there's a marriage over there that's working out, or a relationship that's working out. Because a lot of times people that do draw people in do have an easier time finding partners. Sometimes you have to weed through the crazies for a while. But like you usually get like a pretty set like amount of like people who would like to be with you. And so it feels like some of you are already kind of like secure in that. If you're single, you're secure in that and not wanting to go back to this. I feel like this person is going to pop up eventually and be like, hey, and they're either going to do the whole, I'm just going to pretend like nothing weird happened before and just strike up a conversation like we haven't been for like months. I'm just going to strike it up like nothing, no time has gone by between. They also could do the whole, I haven't heard from you. Why won't you talk to me? That kind of thing. It feels very much like somebody who likes to push away and then pull them back, push away, pull them back. I can't stand that energy. I get less and less tolerant to it as I keep working in this line of work, because a lot of the calls that you get on platforms are people that are in that situation with somebody like that. And they'll love bomb them and then they disappear. And then they love bomb them and then they disappear. I feel like some of you had a real push-pull with this person for a long time. Even if it was just platonic, like a friendship, it felt the same way. It was like they'd pull in and then get what they want from you and then push you away again. Okay? So that sucks. I don't like it. The hermit people just straight up feels like, socially awkward, socially insecure, probably will never approach you if they haven't met you yet. They might creep on your social media. Man, I'm telling you what, if they're creeping on your social media, like, remember that cute selfie? It's like that meme where it's like, remember that cute selfie? That one that you're really happy with, that you shared and made it your profile picture. Somebody else kept that photo and they look at it way too much. That's what it feels like. Like, I don't feel like this is going to turn into a full-fledged stalking. Let me know in the comments if that's going on. But it feels like, I think with social media these days, how many of those do you think we all actually have? Probably a lot. It's so creepy. So that person definitely feels like you're like a wish fulfillment person, right? The teacher aspect, like the teacher that's hot for pupil. Ugh. It just sounds so creepy because I was a teacher, but I taught like high school kids, so that's why it's creepy to me. But I know that in college, a lot of times, like, it wasn't allowed for like students to like fraternize or date the professors, I don't think. But things probably happen. It's almost like you're like their dream student, right? And you you embody what they want to see in a student, but that also transcends into like what they want you to do later, right? Like they want you to do either exactly what they did or go into whatever field they think is best for you, etc. and so forth. And this doesn't have to be a formal teacher. It can just be somebody that, mentors you in some way. Okay. But they really, really think about wanting you to like live up to their expectations of you and not so much paying attention to what your actual expectations should be for you. Yeah. Okay. Let's... before I move on, I actually thought about something. If you're the teacher, okay, you have like several students that think too much about you. It could be all kinds of mixes. Like I think there's some crushes in there. I think there's also some like fan energy. Like you might be like their favorite teacher, something along those lines. You might be a type of teacher that other teachers think about too much as well, talk about. They might overanalyze what you do. Oh my word. Okay, but regardless of all that, it just feels like the people that are thinking about you way too much, they aren't doing it because of anything that you have done, like specifically. That's just like how they feel. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. What actions will the teacher people take, if any? The ones that have a crush on the pupil. Okay. It doesn't look like they're going to do anything. Okay. They probably can't because of like, worrying about their job. What about the teacher that expects the best from them in a good way? Okay. This person is going to kind of keep their eye on you. They might like creep on you and find out like what your plans are. They might talk to other teachers or educators about you to see what their experience with you is. It's all pretty much like, it's not like anything crazy. It's just them wondering about your career track and wondering about like what you're going to do with yourself. They're very worried about you following in their footsteps or doing what they think is best for you. For the teachers who are a little bit meaner or critical, they're just going to keep doing the same. They're just going to keep doing the same until you're not their pupil anymore. And then what about the teachers with students that are interested? Yeah, I don't think anything bad's going to come with that. I think you're just going to be a very, very popular teacher with most of your students. Like it feels very positive if you're the teacher in this situation. Okay, let's look at this. This kind of feels like X vibes or somebody that used to be in your life that pushed and pulled too much and now they're kind of out there sort of waiting to see. They could take some action towards you, like trying to reach out and communicate with you. If they do, and if this is something they've done in the past, please use your discernment on whether or not they're being honest, okay? Or watch another video or call a person to find out, because like sometimes they rush in and they might have done this to you before and act like everything's going to be better, but then it's not, right? And it's because when they're not with you, everything looks real rosy and sunshiny over here. Well, then when they come to you, then it's all rosy and sunshiny until there's a sacrifice they don't want to make and that's pretty much it. There's a sacrifice they don't want to make. There's like giving they have to give. It's not just all about you giving to them, right? So they are most likely going to take an action towards you. I feel like you will make the right move and tell them where to go. If you decide to give them another chance, that's totally fine. I always just say, let actions speak louder than words. And before you let them back into your circle, you say, here's some non-negotiable boundaries. You call them out on that behavior. Okay. I feel like it's been a while since you've heard from them. All right. And then the person watching you from afar. Action they're going to take. They're going to pine after you. They're going to like cry that they can't have you. They might miss out on something that actually is for them because they're so fixated on you. Actions they'll take towards group one. Okay, they're not going to take any action. That's what I thought. That's good. That means they probably won't show up at your house. holding a boombox outside your window playing whatever that song was that he played when he had the boombox outside her window. It was supposed to be very romantic, but if somebody did that to me, I'd be like, get out of here, freako, I called the cops, right? Okay, what else? Any last words, Spirit, on what this person has going on with these guys? Okay. Your guides are saying not to worry about these types of, people that are just because they think about you all the time doesn't mean that they're going to do anything or do anything bad. I feel like a lot of you are happy in the relationships that you're making. Okay. I feel like you don't need any of these people, even the one that kept you waiting, right? There are people very conflicted about you, though. It's like that you're just always going to be a topic of discussion, I'm afraid. My group ones, you're just that special. All right, go ahead and tell me how this helped you in the comments section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you would like to book a private reading, there's ways to do so in the description box. We will see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, group 2. So if you picked the little Shiva shell, let's look and see who's thinking about you too much. Ooh, somebody wise. Wise scene, wise action. Interesting. This definitely feels like one person. Group 1 had several people that were thinking about them way too much for various reasons. It got weird. But anyway, this feels like a person who's very wise that's in your life. I feel like this is a person that you know. They're either very wise or at least they appear to be to you. Okay. So this could be somebody a little bit older. There is some romance in there. Gross. So let's look and see what your tarot can clarify on that overall energy. 5 of coins. The Chariot. The Page of Coins. The Moon. The High Priestess. Let's do one more. And the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, let's talk about these. It's going to be way shorter than group 1 since there's only one person we have to deal with. So this feels very much like breakup energy for some. For others, I feel like maybe you haven't even been together yet. Okay. I think you know that this person is romantically interested in you if you are not yet a couple. They think you might be interested in them, but they're not sure. And I don't know if you're interested. Does that make sense? Like you're kind of interested, but you're not interested enough to actually take the plunge. They're interested enough to take the plunge. This is if you haven't been together yet. Okay. For the breakup crew, they're thinking about you a lot and trying to be wise about how they get back together with you. They feel abandoned. They feel, and please take that with a grain of salt. If they feel abandoned, you're like, how the heck could they feel abandoned? How the heck could they even feel that way? It's their perception. Okay. So if it's like the type of person that pushes you away, and then when you finally go, they're like, oh, you abandoned me. That's possible. Okay. I feel like they're wise, but I also feel like they can be sneaky in the breakup category. Actually, I feel it for the other one too. It's almost like they're being more sneaky about wanting to be with you instead of just putting their cards on the table and telling you how they feel. That's kind of what I'm getting from this. It's like they want to pull it together. They miss you. They feel sad without you. If they haven't been with you yet, they long for you. They don't want to be left out. They don't want to let you get away kind of thing. They want to pull this together. They want to message you, but then they have this fear, okay, of the future or fear of things they can't see. Some of them fear that you're going to see right through them. Okay. Some of them feel like you are a little bit psychic even, or that somehow intuitively you're connected to them. Okay, so they might think that you have a spiritual connection. And they want a new beginning with you, either way. Okay, so whether they've been with you together like as a couple or not, they want to be, all right? But they're not being like brave about it. They're not being forthcoming about it. It's almost like they're sitting back and waiting for you to do it, like waiting for you to intuitively know what they want or what they need. They might put too much of that on you. Like they might just, like I know how I feel about you, right? So therefore, that's how you feel about me, or therefore you should know that that's how I feel about you. But they haven't done anything to make you understand that. In fact, they could be doing opposite things that make you go, what? What? So let's see a little bit more. What actions, if any, will the people who are not with them yet, what actions are they going to take? They could make a bold offer. They could come out with it and offer you something. I don't know if it's the truth though. Like I feel like they might get you like a gift, or they might show you, put something out there to try to like make you feel special, or make you feel like, or just remind you that they're there, right? Justice. They want to gain balance with you and communicate with you. And they want change from where it's at right now. So, hang on. Well, that took longer than anticipated. It is now night. So, we're halfway through a reading, but it's okay. I've got it all in my brain. Okay, so we were talking about if they aren't together with you yet, they might make an offer, give you a gift in some way, but they might not still tell you how they feel up front. I still feel them being a little bit weird about it. Or like a little bit sneaky, or a little bit, instead of just coming out and telling you, it's like they're going to give you something, or they're going to like do something for you, but they're not going to attach like, I want to be with you. They do want that balance with you, and they do want change. So like, I feel like they want change from like the situation you guys are in. They want to move towards something where you're not, you're not in the friend zone anymore, or, whatever it is you've got going on between you if you're not together yet. For those of you that are broken up, they could offer to come back, okay? They could even offer like a bigger commitment to you, like, okay, fine, I'll marry you, or okay, fine, you can move in, or whatever, They also could tell you that they want to change, okay? And they might like mean it while they're saying it, but what worries me is them slipping back into old habits and patterns that led to the breakup in the first place with that card. I feel like there's like, this person is really wise, but at the same time, they're not being very wise with how they're handling this situation in either of the categories that we're talking about. It's like they just won't put their cards on the table. They won't come out and tell you the truth. So if they do come back, if you've been broken up, set up firm boundaries. And same thing with like the people who aren't together yet. If they show up and they're like, oh, here, this is for you, or oh, hey, I want to get back together, or whatever. Ask them why. Ask them what's going on. Ask them, be nice about it, but, something along the lines of, okay, but you broke up with me, so where is this coming from? Those kinds of questions. Setting firm boundaries with them. Like, we aren't going to go through that same stuff we went through before that broke us up, right? Or setting firm boundaries on, if we go ahead and take this step, I have certain, conditions that need to be met. I know that sounds like a business deal, but it's kind of important when you're dealing with somebody who's not totally being forthcoming with you. I don't feel like they're like lying their like pants off or anything like that, or trying to trick you or anything. I just feel like they sort of like aren't that good at communicating when it comes to relationships, at least. What else, Spirit? What's your advice for group 2? Okay, they're saying to have faith. If it feels right, go ahead and go for it. Set up those strong boundaries to protect yourself. Be aware of like any manipulation that could arise, because the magician can show manipulation. And know that you don't need anyone else to make yourself be okay. Okay. Other advice, we have the Queen of Coins and Enlightenment. I feel like they're saying if they're not giving you what you want, then that should enlighten you into like whether or not you want to actually give them a chance. Okay. It could be that, you know, you're too giving and they need to be more like that. They definitely need to be more giving in their communication and in letting you know like exactly how they feel. Like the people that haven't been together yet, like I don't even think they've told you like I like you. You know, I think they like flirt with you. I think they like you know, put themselves out there that way and like compliment you and things. But when it comes down to like, I think there's even probably been times where like you were alone together and you're like, all right, maybe they're going to make their move, and they like didn't, you know? I feel like a lot of you are on the fence about whether or not you're going to entertain this person, whether or not you're going to like let them in, because I'm not feeling like a vibe from you guys. Like you're like, oh yay, maybe they're going to try. You know, like it feels more like, ugh, do I even want to deal with this? You know, like, do I even want to move forward with this person in either capacity? Like, do you want to take them back, or do you want to like start something with them? You're not sure, you know? Spirit, show me what will happen if they, okay. Show me what will happen if the group who is not together yet accepts their offer. Okay, Knight of Wands. It can be like a passionate whirlwind of falling in love and finding new passions. What else? But then I get Hermit energy. You see what I mean? It's like I feel like they're going to be a push-pull back person, right? And I feel like even if you're not together, they've already kind of push-pulled a little bit. And the same, and definitely with the ones that are broken up. I feel like the push-pull thing is kind of what ended the relationship. Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands is a queen who stands on her own. She's perfectly happy to have a king by her side, but she don't need one. She doesn't need one. She can take care of herself. She is fiery. She is doing her own thing. She knows that she's the whole package, and it doesn't matter what people think, right? She feels good no matter what. What else? So I think that's like kind of a message from your guides saying that like you might be better off with either. Yeah, as I said, that the Ace of Swords came out, which is about truth. If you take them back or entertain their proposal, whatever the proposal is going to look like, I kind of cringe to think of how they're going to present you with anything. They feel so unable or like unsavvy when it comes to romance. And if you want somebody that's really going to whirlwind romance you, that's probably the better thing. You know, it's like Knight of Wands is like, yeah, about falling in love and stuff, but I'm starting to feel like this is like more like your person and you're more like the queen. Knight of Wands is super passionate, but at the same time, like, he also dives into stuff without thinking, right? And it can cause issues. So I feel like you're dealing with somebody that's on a much lower level of maturity than you are. They are smart. They're wise, right? But at the same time, your guides are saying, so are you. And your guides are showing you that you can trust your intuition about this person. And I feel like because they've been thinking about you so much that you're like picking up on that energy. They may be calling more or popping into your mind more even. And I don't see you getting super giddy when it happens, you know? Like, I don't think that there's like not like any, it's not like I don't see that you're like, there's nothing for you for them, but I feel the hesitancy from you pretty strong. Your guides are showing that you got to take care of yourself first and accept the truth for what you know it to be in your intuition, right? That intuitive high priestess vibe that you had going in. And they worry about that. And that's the other thing that kind of bothers me about them, is that they worry about you being intuitive, that you're going to see right through them, that you're gonna, and it's like, well, then just tell them how you feel, you know? Oh, dear, dear, dear. Okay, that's all I have for this group. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye-bye. Hello, group 3. As you can see, it's nighttime. Good grief. I mean, I'm glad to be busy at work, but like other things were happening that were like, I was like, I really just want to finish my video. Not the work. The work's been good, but the other stuff has been crazy. Okay, so I'm sorry for my shadow. I'm sorry for the lighting. For your overall energy of who is thinking about you way too much is the lamp, remembrance. So this is somebody from your past who remembers you and like you haunt their dreams. I do feel a romance vibe, gross. But I also feel like a weird, and this could just be for like one of you, like that for some of you it's your mom. Like maybe like you're estranged from your mom and she thinks about you all the time. What else? There's family in there too. It feels like some of you might be estranged from family or like your mom, and they remember and think about you all the time. But for whatever reason, I don't feel like you've like talked to them very much. For others of you, this is a breakup person, an ex. They've got a candle burning for you. Gross. Ew. So people from your past, I feel like these are people that you're not in touch with anymore across the board, whether it's romantic or family. It could be a platonic friendship, but I don't know for sure. So just keep that in mind. Let's see what tarot has to say. Well, that popped right out, didn't it? Ooh, look at all these. That's too many. I want this one for sure. I want those two for sure. Okay. Oh, they're there. See? This one. And, oh, come here. These two. Nope, just this one. Okay. Alrighty. Scoochies. Okay, so let's see more about who they are or what they're thinking or what they're doing in regards to their thoughts about you. We have the Hermit in reverse. The Ace of Blades. The Queen of Coins. The High Priestess. The Moon. Page of Coins. And King of Cups reversed. Okay. So we'll start with the romance. Gross, and get that out of the way. This person's thinking about coming back to you. The Hermit would show them staying in and not going out, but it in the reverse kind of shows that maybe they're going to pop out and come try to find you. But here's the other problem with the Hermit in reverse. The Hermit in the upright position is like about wisdom and stuff, and in the reverse, it's kind of more like, oh, how do you say? Like they're not being wise, that they're not going to be smart, or that they're not going to be, I don't know, like changed enough or like remorseful enough or something along that. Like they won't be taking as much responsibility as maybe you feel like they should for the breakup and like what needs to happen to like reconcile. With the Ace of Blades, it feels like they're going to tell you some kind of a truth, you know, like it could be like, oh, you're right, I was in love with you and I just didn't know what to do kind of stuff. But like, and they want to like promise you to be more giving to you. Okay. But your guides are saying to trust your intuition, that there's something about them that's shady. They're not quite being honest, maybe even with themselves. This is the breakup crew. I'll get to the families here in a second. They're not quite being honest with themselves. And so when they message you, your guides are warning that like they're not as emotionally mature as they say they are. Okay. That's definitely coming out. I don't get a good vibe of the whole like, oh, you should get back together with this person or whatever. Table, roar. Yeah, let's look at the family dynamic first. Okay, so with family, with the mom thing, they also might be thinking about reaching out to you and trying to talk things through. Especially the mom category. She wants to give you the things that she didn't give you, maybe, and that's like why you're estranged now, right? Or at least you feel like maybe she didn't, okay? As far as like your intuition goes, I see fear for the future from you with this family dynamic. It's almost like you sometimes fear like you'll end up alone, like you won't have any family if like you don't like reconcile. It also kind of feels like like they're also not telling you the full picture. Like it feels hard to trust, okay? Yeah, it's basically the same as the romance. It's like they're going to give you like some kind of a message, and that's going to leave you feeling less emotionally fulfilled. It's going to make you feel kind of like, what do they want? You know, kind of situation. Let's see what actions they might take. What actions that... Yeah, see, their actions aren't very action-y looking, are they? It's like, maybe I'll make action, maybe I won't. And then they just sit and don't do anything, and then they miss out on you, right? I feel that from both categories. I feel like if this is a family situation, that this situation was kind of dysfunctional, you know, and that the estrangement happened to try to, in an attempt to like balance yourself out, right? Oh my gosh, this table's for family, it feels the same. Like they might, and it makes me sad. It's like, it reminds me of like when you're like a little kid and like maybe you have like what they refer to as like a deadbeat dad, and every few years he's like, I'm gonna do better and blah blah blah, and so you get all ready to go and your mom's like being like mean about it and you don't understand why, and then you go out there and you wait for your dad and he like never shows up, doesn't even call, that kind of thing. And then your poor mom, tries to make you feel better about everything, but at the same time you see how angry her face is and you're like, I don't know what's going on. It feels sad like that. It feels like you've been through this ringer with your family quite a bit. That's relatable. Okay. Let's see. And I feel like if they do get in touch with you and then they start pulling this crud, and I feel like this is the same way about the romance. It's like they come forward and like, okay, hey, let's get together and work this out and blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as you let them back in, they're right back to, being all aloof and pulling away. And I feel like for some, maybe even like cheating might have been involved, like so cheating maybe, or you catch them talking to somebody, right? And so that behavior is going to kind of make you feel like, okay, I know my answer. And that's going to make you feel kind of relieved and enlightened. I feel like most of you are going to like continue to cut these people off. Okay. Even the family people. And I'm not saying that everyone should cut off their family, but I mean, if they're not giving you what you need and you're just getting pain and they keep going away and then coming back and then going away and then coming back, and you're the one that has to make all the adjustments and sacrifices and all that. Like it's not worth it. I don't care if it's family. You know what I mean? I'm trying to I'm sitting way over here so that I don't cover up the cards. Okay, advice for them, Spirit. Give me advice for the people who are in a breakup situation. I feel like when the romance people, when that person comes forward, you're going to be like a whirlwind of emotions. Part of you is going to be like, yay, I wanted them to call me, you know? And then part of you is like, oh, why did they call me? Like, I thought this was over, you know? Like I was moving on. And so you're stuck in this, like, what do I do now energy? And the same thing with like the family. If they call and they want to, you know, part of you wants that home feeling, part of you wants that love, and part of you wants to feel like it's going to be okay. But you also know that it's been about half and half of like, or not even half and half. It feels like it's been like mostly them disappointing you. And so that's going to cause like some emotional issues. The fact that, that you are realizing that maybe they're not worth your time, your guides are advising that you need to take care of you and your own emotional well-being. And you need to find your own balance in your life with or without those people in your family. Okay. Because they kind of are, it's just too painful and hard to like keep going back and forth with people like that. Like people need to be more like solid for it to work, especially with all the past hurting so bad for you in particular. They need to be more, you know, forthcoming. What makes me mad about this whole thing is it's like, if that's how, and I bet you that's something some of you just about shouted at your TV screens if you didn't already. If that's how they feel, if they're thinking about you all the time, then why won't they just do what you need, right? Yeah, let's ask why, Spirit. If they're thinking about them all the time, why are they going to be not great? So the reason why your guides are showing me with across the board is that they're not well balanced people. These are positive cards, but I asked why, if they think about you all the time, why are they not coming forward, or why did they not take care of things better the first time or the first 7 times, right? They're selfish for sure. Like the scale always has to tip in their favor, and that's for family or the exes, okay? And then they get these like emotional notions that kind of put a bee in their bonnet of like, I should do something, right? They're thinking about you because deep down their higher selves know that they've done you wrong. Their higher selves know that you are a good person, that you're a blessing to have in their life and in anybody's life. But it's too hard for them to face themselves and the way they treated you. And I mean, like, they don't even have that depth of thought. Okay. This is just like the truth of the matter. They can't, it's sort of like when people are mean to somebody that's sick, or they abandon somebody that's sick. They can't handle it. Or like, I have a sibling that told me one time, you know, because I was upset that there's a lot of people that don't believe that I actually have this autoimmune thing I have, that I'm just faking it for attention or whatever. I don't know. Or that I exacerbate my symptoms, or that I'm a hypochondriac or whatever. And meanwhile, you've got these doctors saying like, oh, you're going to die. And you're like, well, help me. And they're like, oh, we don't know what it is, you know, so have fun dying. And they just go about their business, and you're just left with this like thing, right? And like, I'm not like dying, but like what I have could kill me any second. And so it's like, to have people like say that to you, like, oh yeah, anything could kill you at any time, you know, like your immune system could just freak out and your arrow will close and that's it for you. And it could be something you've encountered a million times and didn't have a reaction to, that kind of thing. It's like, they tell you this and then they tell you they just go about their business. And I didn't understand that. And I was asking my sister, like, why would people do that? Why would they do that to somebody that they've known for years? Why would they do that? And she said, it's too hard for them to understand that there's stuff out there in the world that can happen to good people. It makes them feel vulnerable. It's easier for them to say, oh, you're just crazy. And that sort of illness doesn't exist, right? Because if that illness exists, then maybe they have to worry about it happening to them or their kids or whoever, right? It might mean that they actually have to, consider you more when you need to be around them, right? Those kinds of deals. It's just a basic selfishness and a survival mechanism all rolled in together that makes them go, and then they stand back. And that's like kind of the feeling I'm getting for you guys of, why are they doing this? Like, why won't they, if they think about me all the time, why won't they just make it better? Why won't they listen to me? I've told them what I needed a million times. Why won't they listen to me? No, you guys. It's because they're not capable, like they're emotionally not capable. They have to keep the scale on their side or they feel vulnerable for some reason. They're dysfunctional, and that's not your fault that they're dysfunctional. It just sucks that that's who you had in your life who treated you that way. You know what I mean? And that makes me feel bad. Okay, let me see. Spirit, can I get a message of hope from you for this group? Oh. So I feel like if there was a breakup, I feel that you're going to find somebody that's more compatible for you, that you're going to be able to leave those hurts in the past. For those of you that it's family, I feel like you're going to either find a very, very compatible and suitable partner for you that helps become your family, and you can create a new family together possibly. And that doesn't mean you have to have kids. I got a whole family of me and John and some cats, and it's awesome. Yeah, and my kitty cats are indoor cats too. They can't go outside either. So we just hang out together in the house. And then John goes out and gets provisions for us. It's good times. But my point is that I'm not saying it's an ideal situation. You know what I mean? But at the same time, your guides are showing that you'll have balance in a way that those people won't. Like your exes, they're probably not going to find something like that unless they change, right? Your parents or your family, they don't have that. You know what I mean? And so I feel like you're going to find something that's a relationship that, it might not be exactly as big as a family, and it might not be exactly like what you were hoping for with that first relationship. It's going to be like different, but it's going to be a lucky relationship. It's going to feel good. Does it suck that those other people suck? Yeah. It hurts because I feel like you love those people on both sides. Like you do love your family and you do love your ex or whatever. It feels like it's just time to let that go, to let them go. And if you do decide to let them back in, you remember what they did and you set those boundaries. Okay. And with that, I will leave you. Let me know if this was helpful in the comments section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you would like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. My friends, we'll see you in the next one.